see who am I logged in as? Hold on.
Hi, sorry, started the broadcast. We were a second early, so it doesn't matter that Denise has to look something up on her phone.
It's okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to TCM Talk.
Hi, everybody.
Hi there. We're together again. 2 weeks ago, Denise was away, and I flew solo, but today we're back together again for a couple of periscopes all about natural pain management from a holistic and traditional Chinese medicine perspective. I'm Kirsten Cowan, licensed acupuncturist and herbalist, and I'm the creator of Angelica and Peony natural health and beauty products created with Chinese medicine, aromatherapy, and natural oils. Find out more about me on angelicaandpeony.com, and you can find links to everything that we talk about during our periscopes on our periscope pin board, bit.ly/periscope pins.
And the video links are on bit.ly/TCM Talkvids, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. You got it right.
Yay! They are designed to be easy to remember, so glad we were able to remember them.
Yeah.
So we've been talking all this month about natural pain management, insights, do-it-yourself stuff, recommendations from traditional Chinese medicine and holistic medicine about managing both acute and chronic pain conditions. So in this quick little scope, I'm going to touch on 3 herbal superstars for pain relief, 3 of my favorite herbs for managing both acute and chronic pain. And you can actually find out a lot more details and links to the studies and stuff that I'm going to mention in a blog article I wrote about these 3 herbs. You can find that on my website, angelicaandpeony.com, and it's on our Periscope board too, bit.ly/periscope pins. So there's hundreds, probably thousands of herbs that have pain relieving and pain managing functions in various ways, from Chinese medicine, traditional Western herbalism, Central and Latin American herbalism, Ayurvedic medicine. I mean, every tradition, every region has herbs that have traditional functions to help cope with different types of pain. So these are 3, I'm not even going to say they're the 3 most important or the 3 best, they're just 3 that I like, and they're 3 that have a kind of home application to, especially ginger and turmeric are spices and easy to incorporate into cooking, easy to get at the grocery store. And the third one, mugwort or moxa, is a herb that I just think everyone should know more about. It's a part of traditional Chinese medicine, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. So let's start with ginger. Ginger is a food, it's a spice, but it's a really powerful internal and external treatment for pain of all kinds. I use it to make an infused oil. I infuse dried ginger into sesame oil to make my ginger menthol balm. So this is a topical type of treatment, topical use of ginger for muscle pain, and also respiratory ailments, painful cough, and things like that. It's really great for stiff neck and shoulders. And in traditional Chinese medicine, one of the ways that we use ginger, which is a very warming herb, very warming spice, as you probably know from eating it, is to address cold type of pain. And an example of this would be the aching muscles and joints that you get at the onset of a cold or flu. That kind of stiff, aching feeling that we understand as being the cold kind of starting to get stuck in the muscles of your body. Ginger as a tea, which you can easily make at home, or as a topical application in something like this, like my ginger menthol rub or ginger oil on the neck and shoulders, really effective for that type of pain. Feel free to interrupt me, Denise, as I can blather on, and any viewers watching us live also feel free to ask questions as we go along. One of the other types of pain that ginger is really effective for, and actually has been studied quite a bit by Western scientists is menstrual pain. And several big studies have shown it to be as effective or more effective than ibuprofen.
Really?
Really. Wow. Plus with a bonus that it counteracts nausea, which is a side effect or a symptom of menstrual discomfort that a number of women experience, nausea and vomiting along with severe period pain. And of course, ginger doesn't come with some of the nasty potential side effects of ibuprofen, like stomach upset or damage, or possible liver, possible problems for your liver.
Right. It helps your stomach.
It helps your stomach. It doesn't hurt your stomach. Exactly. So I actually like to make one of my favorite easy to make and tasty menstrual cramp teas is a combination of half and half chamomile blossoms and dried ginger. Tastes very delicious. The chamomile is relaxing and antispasmodic, and the ginger has this very powerful pain relieving action that's especially good for menstrual cramps. So I recommend that as an easy to make at home pain relieving combination.
Great.
Yeah, it is yummy. So then let's talk a little bit about turmeric. Turmeric is not something I make a product with, although it could be a little bit tempting. It definitely stains everything. It's what gives a lot of curry blends that bright yellow color. It's a staple, especially for cooking legumes and making them more digestible. It's gotten a lot of attention recently from a more Western perspective as an anti-inflammatory, benefiting the joints and especially chronic joint pain and arthritis. So I linked to some interesting studies about that in my blog article, and those are also on our Pinterest board, bit.ly/periscope pins. So you can take turmeric in a capsule and as sort of extract or guaranteed potency type that you get from the health food store. There are some contraindications for its use. It's not for everybody. I mean, this is the case generally with herbs, but even if, food herb, you're doing something different with it when you're taking a very high dose of it, very high potency by itself in a capsule. That's really, has more potential to maybe interact with medications you're taking or affect other illnesses that you might have. So one of the great ways to get the pain relieving benefits and the anti-inflammatory benefits of turmeric is to use it as a food. And then you don't have the worry about the mega dosing that can happen so easily using capsules. So, as I said, the turmeric really improves the digestibility of lentils. So that's a great way if you want to be taking turmeric every day is to put a teaspoon in with your lentils while they cook.
I bought some lentils yesterday. I'll have to do that.
Yeah. The flavor almost disappears. Turmeric has even though it has such a bright color, I don't find it has a very strong flavor. If you use a lot, it has a kind of bitter quality, and we would probably ascribe a lot of its pain relieving and anti-inflammatory properties to that bitterness, the components in it that give it that bitter flavor. When you cook it in, when you boil it in with lentils, it kind of really disappears into the lentils, and you just get the those positive medicinal benefits, the increased digestibility without a very strong flavor. You can also sprinkle a little bit of it onto sautéing vegetables while you're making a soup. That's another great way to add some turmeric into your diet. It makes fantastic base in broth like that. It will give you a really gorgeous golden broth, which is very healing. In Yiddish, we call really good chicken broth is called a goldene yoich, a golden broth. And you can get that even without a chicken using turmeric. It gives that healing golden color. And another traditional way to take turmeric is in chai. Or in different kinds of golden milk recipes you can see online, which are variants of chai. You can make them with any kind of milk, cow milk, goat milk, coconut milk, almond milk. And these this traditional combination of turmeric with other spices, in particular black pepper, actually has been shown in recent Western studies to really increase the absorption of some of the active ingredients in turmeric, is that combination with pepper. So you'll actually see that in the health food store, a lot of turmeric capsules are sold with also black pepper accompanying them because they have a synergistic. Thank you so much. That's le mot juste that I was looking for that I could not remember. But again, the traditional way to access this, and very tasty if I do say so, is with a chai or golden milk. Some great recipes to those and my blog article on our Periscope board.
And I think, Kirsten, we probably have a link on the Pinterest board for an article by Leslie Tierra about, the cautions like you were talking about. It's the current fad.
Yeah.
It really is the current fad of turmeric can fix everything. So just make sure, I would really recommend reading that article and talking to your herbalist, acupuncturist, before you decide to just take turmeric on your own. Especially for women, an example is for women who might have hot flashes and night sweats. This is a warming herb and could possibly make it worse. Yeah. So think about that.
Absolutely, thanks. And that's a great article by Leslie Tierra, who's a very wonderful, venerable herbalist from both Western and Asian tradition. Yeah. So finally, I want to introduce you to my third superstar, which is mugwort, or moxa. Aye, we call it in Chinese. So I actually have some here because it's not too common to see it probably. So that's, there it is. It's kind of these silvery green strands. It is, let's see if I wrote down what the two, so this is Artemisia argi, which is, in English it's called wormwood, but the species that you'll see most likely both in Western herbal stores or the health food store or in gardens, we have mugwort, wormwood growing all over here in the Bay Area, is Artemisia vulgaris, which is more common. So it's a slightly different species, the one that we traditionally use in Chinese medicine, but you can substitute Artemisia vulgaris. And for some of the DIY stuff I'm going to talk about, that would be an easier way to go. So moxa, both internally and externally, is an incredible pain relieving herb. I would say, it's one of the first things that certainly I would do as an acupuncturist, giving someone treatment for pain, both acute and chronic. There are few contraindications for it, but not that many. Most people will find they benefit from and get relief from moxibustion treatment. So what are the ways that we use this fantastic herb for pain relief? We use it internally in a tea in combination with other herbs. That's especially for gynecological pain and has a special affinity for the uterus. For pain on the body, we use moxibustion therapy, which is finely ground Artemisia, mugwort herb made into a little cigar. So we light the tip of this, and just like a cigar, it goes to a coal, and we hold that over the affected area or acupuncture points, and it's a very powerful warming treatment, really effective for pain. We have a ton of periscopes about this, demonstrating some different ways, both types that you might get from your acupuncturist, and also some methods that make it easier to do at home. Links to those videos are on our in the blog article and on our Periscope board. I won't delve too deeply because that's a whole issue on its own. I infuse mugwort into sesame oil along with some other warming herbs to make my warming menthol balm. And I also have a healing oil called Warm the Palace oil. So these function as a kind of salve, solid moxa or liquid moxa for circumstances where it's difficult or complicated to light the fire and smoke things up. And of course, you can also wear a topical application like this all day under your clothes and get the herbal benefits through your skin all day that way. Finally, the last thing that I really like to do with mugwort is something that I learned about when I was living in Los Angeles and got to start going to the Korean bathhouses.
Right.
Bathhouses are a traditional feature really all over the world and very much so in Asia. And the Korean community in LA and lots of other places has built lots of bathhouses for themselves where both women and men go for rejuvenating treatments of all kinds and soaks. And one of the my favorite soaks at the Olympic Spa in LA, where I used to go, where we enjoyed many an evening, was the mugwort soak. So this was basically a hot tub filled with piping hot mugwort tea. And I cannot express how fantastic that is. So it's not quite the same, but I have tried to replicate that myself in my own bathtub a number of times. And basically what I do is take, about a handful or more of the mugwort herb, and I often use one of these kind of muslin tea bags if I don't want to be picking the mugwort out of my drain. Sometimes I just let it go in loose. You could also make a pot of very strong tea on the stove and dump that into your bath. But I find that the little bath bags are really one of the best ways to have a herbal bath of any kind.
And you can get those at herb shops or natural grocery stores, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find these lots of places online, and the health food store, your local herbalist will undoubtedly have this. They also come in a much larger size, which is really great for the bath. And the Artemisia, you can get this type of mugwort by talking to your acupuncturist about purchasing it in bulk, or you could use Artemisia vulgaris, which is a more commonly available Western variety of mugwort that has a lot of the same properties and would also be very nice in the bath. So I think that was all I was going to say about my superstars. Please feel free to email us if you have questions about anything we talk about or questions for a future episode. You can find us all over social media and Traditional Chinese Medicine Talk at gmail.com. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with a scope from Denise.
There'll be some tips about natural pain management. Natural pain management tips. The top 10 tips I can come up with. I can say that 10 times fast.
Without pain.
Right, without pain. So.
And we'll be back with our September scopes on September 1st and September 15th. For the fall season, we're talking about back to school, colds and flus, and a general discussion really about immunity, enhancing your immunity, fending off all the microbes and pathogens that we start to meet again when fall comes and school starts. So tune in just a couple of minutes. We'll be back with another scope.
Bye.
Bye.